Never fear, Sindush is here. And I have for you today a brief Dragon Ball theory discussion. So the discussion for today: why didn't future Trunks and future Bulma try to get the Namekians to bring them new Dragon Balls instead of coming backwards in time with a time machine? Now there's a few factors I think really play into this. Very first one, Bulma had enough difficulty putting together that spaceship, or the time machine, let alone trying to build, as you can see, that a spaceship like the one she builds for them to go hunt Dragon Balls in GT. I mean, you can see the size difference is drastic. Easily 5 times the size difference. Easily. So to gather that much material in the living conditions they had in the future timeline, and not get caught, not be found out doing it, would have been a huge risk and possibly impossible to have accomplished. Whereas the time machine may have some more complicated circuitry and scientific know-how in it, you don't have to have as many materials to build it. Don't need as much metal or as much plastic and glass to make that time machine than you do the spaceship. So there's one reason, and that's a big reason. There's also some problems with trying to find and get to New Namek. They don't know where New Namek is. They no longer have Dragon Balls for Bulma to test a new Dragon radar that could search through outer space. Now we don't see that addressed in GT, but if you go look at the Namek saga, they don't rely on the Dragon radar to tell them, hey, we're almost to Namek. If they hadn't had a spaceship that knew how to get to Namek, they never would have got there. Now in GT, it seems she built a new radar. They had no choice but to go out in space like that, so she built a radar capable of doing that. And maybe future Bulma could do that, but it would be harder for her to test that radar that it works when there's no Dragon Balls on Earth anymore. To be able to say, okay, I can still find the Dragon Balls, and I'm fairly confident I'm searching a wider area, much wider area. Even if she got it somewhat larger and was successful at that, they don't know which direction to go. He could head off in the wrong direction, never make it home, never make it to where he found New Namek. Wonderful trip that would be, right? Hey Mom, I never found Namek. I'm gonna go try another direction now. Nope, that didn't work either. Go try another direction now. Maybe he'd eventually find it. But how long would that take? Who all would actually still be left by the time he succeeded in finding the Dragon Balls? Or finding Namek and the Namekians to come make him Dragon Balls. Then you've got, okay, say you get to Namek, say you can do all that stuff. Who are you gonna convince to come back? I mean, Goku had trouble getting anyone to come. Dende was somewhat willing to come because he had a friend in Gohan and Krillin. And, you know, the time frame between those two events when Goku does it is not near as long as if future Trunks were to try and do it 15 years down the road. Or 12 years down the road, or whatever the case is. It just wouldn't be the same. I mean, Dende would have lived a much longer life there on Namek. He wouldn't be as willing to leave, even if he did. And even if he did come to Earth, what then? Have you thought about that part? They get Dende to Earth. He creates the Dragonballs. He can bring most everybody back. But there was one rule on the Dragonballs I don't think they're going to get around. You cannot revive someone who's died of natural causes. And while most everybody would have died by the hands of the androids, you would not get back Goku. And that matters for two reasons. One, because he's the story's main character. But also because as much as Bulma cared for Vegeta, her faith was really more in Goku to be able to get the job done. And if they can't get back Goku, I mean, even with the Super Saiyan Gohan, who at least looked like he could handle his own against the androids, and it could be the androids just played with him some, but we never really could tell if that was the case or not. But he held his own fairly well against the androids. Trunks is stronger now than he was. You'd have a Super Saiyan Vegeta, and you'd have a Piccolo, who could fuse with Kami and be on par with the Super Saiyans again. So you would have 4 Super Saiyan level beings, 3 Super Saiyans, 1 Super Namek. Maybe 4 on 2, they could train a little bit and defeat the androids. Maybe they could pull that off. It's a lot of circumstantial and hypothetical complications to get past for a maybe that'll work. There are less complications, less difficulties, a higher chance of success going with Bulma's plan of building a time machine, giving Goku the medicine that'll keep him from dying, warn them so they have 3 years to train. I mean, that's 3 years of training for Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan, everybody else. And of course, Future Trunks is going to show back up. And, you know, that's a much more solid plan than trying to make all those other pieces fall into place in that future timeline so they could go get everybody except Goku and maybe make it work. I mean, this is still a maybe, but it's a higher chance maybe. At least considering they were expecting to be the androids about the same strength. The fact that they came out stronger complicated the scenario more. The fact that there ended up being a cell complicated things more. But in the end, that was the better plan. It was the surer plan. It was the less complicated plan. Even though the time machine itself is a more complicated piece of machinery, it was a less complicated plan. And of course, by doing that, it saved a different timeline from even to having to endure the androids. And then it prepared Trunks to come back and defeat the androids in his own timeline. And who knows? Maybe then they could go get the Dragon Balls and bring people back, so that Gohan wouldn't have to be dead still. Piccolo could come back to life. Vegeta could come back to life. They could do those things if they wanted to. But not because I needed to do so to defeat the androids, but just to improve the quality of life now that the androids are gone. And maybe, bring back part of Earth's population. But you don't do it to save the world. You do it because the world is in a position, having been saved, that it needs to be repopulated and restored balance from what all the androids had destroyed. I hope all of that makes sense to you, and you can understand where I'm coming from. Feel free to comment and let me know what you think about what I've said, if you think I'm wrong in some way, or if you like what I've said. This is Super Saiyan 7 Cinders. This has been another Dragon Ball theory discussion video. Please like it. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. And we will be back with another video soon.